"You're not your father," they mocked the black teen, but she fixed the engine in minutes and left them speechless. The buzzing lights of Peterson Motors HQ illuminated the high-tech workshop, where some of the most skilled engineers in California worked on top-tier performance engines. Among the polished steel benches and spotless uniforms stood Jasmine Carter, a 15-year-old girl from Oakland, her hands rough from years in her late father's small garage. She had been given an internship through a youth program for disadvantaged kids. But instead of welcome, she was met with laughter. "Are you sure she even knows the difference between a wrench and a screwdriver?" mocked Marcus Thompson, the chief engineer. His voice carried across the workshop, drawing chuckles from the staff. Jasmine's old overalls, worn yet clean, contrasted against the team's crisp white uniforms. The engineers smirked as Marcus flipped through her file. "Let me guess," Marcus sneered. "Another diversity hire? 3 days here pretending to know something about engines, a few Instagram photos, then back to wherever you people come from." The words stung, but Jasmine stood still, her dark eyes fixed on him. She didn't flinch. Program Director Dr. Rebecca Morrison shifted uncomfortably. "Marcus, maybe you should give her a chance." "A chance?" Marcus interrupted, his tone sharp. He gestured toward a half-dismantled 1987 Mustang GT engine sitting in the center of the room. "That thing has been giving us trouble for 2 weeks. Even our best men couldn't fix it. Perfect for our special visitor." The other engineers chuckled. It was a trap, an impossible test designed to humiliate her. "Jerry, bring the camera," Marcus ordered. "We're going to record this historic moment. The first time someone like her touches real equipment here at Peterson Motors." Jasmine inhaled deeply. The smell of oil and metal felt like home, not intimidation. Memories of her father teaching her in their backyard garage came rushing back. "Listen first, little one. Engines speak to those who know how to listen." She stepped forward. "If I fix this," she asked calmly, "you'll admit you were wrong, publicly." Marcus smirked. "If by some miracle you fix it, I'll write you a letter of recommendation to any college you want. But when you fail, you'll admit this place isn't for people like you." Silence swept over the room as Jasmine touched the engine, her fingers tracing the worn metal. She didn't rush. She listened. Each hum, each worn wire seemed to whisper its story. Marcus rolled his eyes. "Any time now, princess." But Jasmine wasn't intimidated. She recalled her father, David Carter, once a top technician at Peterson Motors, before Marcus arrived and fired him in the name of professional image. Her father had died in an accident a few years later. What Marcus didn't realize was the irony. The girl he mocked was the daughter of the man whose skills once kept this company alive. After 2 minutes, Jasmine finally spoke. "The throttle position sensor is out of calibration, but that's not the real problem. The wiring harness, connectors 12 and 15, are corroded. That's what's confusing the control module." The room froze. Marcus's smirk faded. That diagnosis matched their secret reports, details Jasmine could never have known. "You're guessing," he said flatly. "No," she replied, picking up a wrench. "I'm telling you what's wrong." Her hands moved with precision, unbolting, checking, rewiring. Each motion was steady, confident. The workshop fell silent, except for the rhythmic clink of tools. As the tension built, a new figure entered, the legendary Mike Rodriguez, a supervisor with 40 years at Peterson Motors. "What's going on here?" he asked. "Just letting the girl from the social program play around," Marcus said with a fake smile. Mike watched Jasmine's work. His eyes widened. That's not playing, that's skill. Marcus scoffed. She's just lucky. No, Mike said firmly. In 40 years, I've seen maybe half a dozen people diagnose wiring harness oxidation by sight. This kid just did it in 5 minutes. The room shifted. Respect began to replace mockery. Jasmine's hands didn't stop moving, but her voice, calm and steady, cut through the silence. Mr. Rodriguez, did you know my father, David Carter? He worked here until 2021. Mike froze. His jaw tightened. David Carter was the best technician this company ever had, and Marcus fired him. Gasps filled the workshop. Engineers exchanged uneasy glances. The truth had surfaced like a buried secret. Jasmine finally looked at Marcus. My father told me about you, how you fired people who knew more than you ever would. Sweat glistened on Marcus's forehead. His arrogance cracked. Jasmine adjusted the final components. Did anyone recalibrate for altitude? The engineers looked at each other, confused. Mike's eyes widened again. Altitude calibration. Of course, this engine came from Denver. No one had even considered it. Jasmine adjusted the parameters with surgical precision. Finally, she stood back. Start it. Mike turned the key. The Mustang's engine roared to life, smooth, powerful, flawless. The sound silenced every doubt in the room. The engineers stared in disbelief. Weeks of their failed attempts, undone by a teenager in less than an hour. Marcus's face drained of color. His humiliation was complete. Mike turned to him, voice booming. You tried to humiliate her. Instead, she just proved more skill in one afternoon than your team has in months. This is the daughter of David Carter, the man you disrespected, and she carries his legacy. Jasmine wiped her hands calmly, her face glowing with quiet triumph. You said I'm not my father. You're right, I'm his legacy, and I'll go further than you ever imagined. The video of the incident, secretly recorded by Dr. Morrison, spread online like wildfire. Millions watched the clip of a young black girl dismantling prejudice with her brilliance. Universities offered her scholarships. Companies reached out with opportunities. She became a symbol, not of diversity quotas, but of raw talent, passion, and resilience. As for Marcus, his arrogance cost him everything. He was forced to issue a public apology. His reputation as chief engineer crumbled. Sometimes life will put you in situations where people doubt you, mock you, and even try to humiliate you. But remember this: true skill, true passion, and true dedication always shine through. Jasmine Carter didn't just fix an engine that day. She rewrote the story of what it means to belong. And so can you.